What is absolute path and relative path? Now, this is one of the most important Linux concepts. Every DevOps engineer must understand this properly. Because why it is? Because why this concept is very important? Because sometimes you have used some path in the script and script fails. Why? Because you have used wrong path, or some automation breaks, or CI/CD job failed, file copy issue happens. Why? Because if path concepts are not clear, you might use incorrect path. You will get confused with the absolute path and relative path. Okay, so understanding the difference between absolute path and relative path is very important. So absolute path is location of a file or a directory in Linux. Okay, so path is location of a file or a directory. So let me write down path. So location of file or directory in Linux. Okay, now what is absolute path? So absolute path, definition of the absolute path is complete path starting from root directory. So since it is starting from root directory, it starts with the slash. Okay, for example, slash home slash raj slash uh, DevOps slash script slash test.sh. So now if I ask you the absolute path of your test.sh file, you will need to give it from the root directory. It starts with the slash home slash whatever it is, the next path. So it starts with the root directory. So since it is starting from the root directory, that's why it is absolute path. So no matter from where you run the command, Linux can locate the file. Suppose you are in slash home slash Adam directory and you are executing this script which is not in this directory, but if you use this absolute path, Linux can find the file because we have given it from the root. Okay, so let's let's do some hands-on practice. Okay, so this is my current directory, let's al. So if I want to go into, suppose, one directory called testdir1. So if I cd testdir1, now I am in testdir1. So and ls, so there is nothing in the testdir1. So if you see slash home slash cloud shell dash user slash test dir is the absolute path of this test dir1 because it is starting from the home. But now if I go to cd okay, now I am back to the cloud shell user directory, and now if I go to test dir2 and I'm going to test dir2 or dir1, so what path I'm using? I'm using relative path because relative path starts from your current directory. This is my current directory. So Linux will use this path and then whatever is the next will start searching from there. So this is why this is relative path. This is relative from your current location. Okay, so this is relative path. Okay, so absolute path start from the root directory. Relative path is relative to your current directory. It doesn't start from the slash. Why? Because whichever is your current directory, it start or it relates from that current directory. Okay, so suppose your current directory is, in this case my current directory is slash home slash cloud shell dash user. This is my current directory. So my path, relative path, starts from here. So inside, in this directory, my current directory, whatever is the directory, it will search. But if I want to search some script which is not in this current directory, somewhere else, then using relative path will not work. And that's why if you use this relative path in your script will not be able to find particular file, because you are using relative path. But script is running in one directory and your file which you are searching is in another directory, but you are not giving absolute path, so it will fail. Okay, so understanding absolute path and relative path is very important.